And you've heard the side of leadership newspapers saying, no, we stand by our story. You as a journalist, what is your thought on this particular story that was published?
Well, journalists will always say that they will stand by their story until the law court proves otherwise.
Thank you.
You see, I'm one of those who also believe that wherever you find an element of criminality, it should be investigated.
Thank you.
I'm a practitioner, and the law and the ethics also provides that we should be very careful. If we are in doubt, we should leave out. So, if we have decided to publish what turns out to be a fake report, or if false document have been presented to us to be real, and the police are now invited, I think the only is on us to also go and show evidence that look, we received this from certain quarters, even though we will only be compelled to do that by a law court.
Exactly.
So, I don't see any reason why we should be belaboring ourselves by saying that we should stand on the law whenever we are asked to come and explain certain things. It's only that journalists must be very, very careful with the kind of documents they get from either public or from interested groups.
So when leadership is now alleging that it seems as if they are being intimidated or harassed by government.
With what has happened in the issue of leadership, I don't see any form of intimidation. What I had expected them to do, even though during my own case, it was a military administrator, in Ekiti State that did that. But I went with my lawyer. They sent my lawyer away. I'd expected leadership editors to send in their lawyer alongside with their reporter the moment they got the invitation. I want to correct one impression here. They were not arrested. They were invited. And they honored that invitation. And as professionals, I thought probably they should have gone there with their lawyers, who would just stand in for ask for their bail immediately. So I think we are only trying to the lawyers will assist in making sure that their rights are not trampled upon.
Thank you.
So in view of that, then let me ask Mr. Agbaje then, do you
Let
think...
me just quickly add to that.
Yes.
Look, like you rightly said, the boys ought to have gone there on honored invitation. Like the Court of Appeal said in Terimomo's case, that the invitation by the National Assembly, how are you sure that at the end of the day they won't even drop it? How are you sure that it will lead to prosecution? That it was even premature to have even gone to court in the first instance to ask for a restraining order. Because the letter of invitation was not even expressive as to the exact point that is in contention why we were being invited. So you have to, in other words, you have to go. Again, to quickly add to what he just said, we are not holding brief for anybody, but the truth of the matter is that if the other side to the story says, what you publish is false, if they say this, and you say, no, you are not even challenging the claim of the other side that are saying that your story is false. You are saying, I am not going to disclose. I don't think you have even gotten the elements of the gist of the complaint against you. They are saying your story is false. I think what you should say, your position should be that, our story is not false. So by the time we get to court, we will not decide whether it is false or not. But you cannot say, I'm not going to obey that invitation, because at that point in time, you are already provoking the law enforcement agent, because they have that right to invite you to come and assist. And secondly, don't forget that, like we said, false information is a criminal offense in Nigeria. Section 59 of the Criminal Code. If you publish a story that is false, or you reproduce a story that is false, you that reproduce it, you are also guilty, provided you can explain that your story is not false.
But Mr.
But if it is false, then 3 years.
Mr. Agbaje, how do I know that the story I'm about to carry is false?
That's the point.
I have got a document from ostensibly a reliable source, and I publish it.
And then the person who owns the document, or whom you claim to own the document, says, look, that document is not ours.
But I've already, published.
You are published. And the man is saying what you published is not true. So the onus is now on you who published to come and justify that.
Well, I will take my document to court and show it to the court.
Exactly.
This is what I received from X.
Exactly. And the ex people will now say, well, this is our authentic one. We did not give you that fake story.
So what next?
Okay, sorry, I would like to hear your
In
comment.
the meantime, the police has tortured me to try and get my source and all that.
No, the police cannot torture you to get your source. All the police was asking you to come and assist us. You have the right to say, well, like he said, I'm not saying anything until my lawyer comes in.
Okay. You want to say
yes.
something?
First, we're talking about law here, a country with a constitution. And we're not talking about a police state, a banana island. What we're talking about a constitution. And if you look at section 39 of our constitution, it says that there is freedom of expression without interference. Now, that is very clear. What happened in the 1982s and 1981 is simply in those dispensations. And remember even the cases my learned friend mentioned about courts even making the order in the first place. Now, what that means is that police cannot invite people. Whether he's invited or arrested, all the same thing. Once you walk into the police station, they don't allow you to go and ask you to stay. It is in the arrest. There's nothing that must be arrested. Now, once the police invite you and keep you there for hours, it is torture because you've been restrained. You cannot carry out your duties, and they are forcing you to do something before you are released. Now, the impression I'm getting is that journalists should be walking around with their lawyers and ask questions. Should I answer this question? Should I not answer this question? That is the destruction of our democracy. Fair speech, open society, and press freedom is the foundation of every society. Now, the day the law itself is narrow. The case of there is the law.
Yes,
the law is
your right within the confinement of the Constitution.
Yeah, but the law is defined by the court.
Even section 39 you quoted is civil subject.
No, it's not subject to the law. No, sir. There's no derogation to section 39. Now, what is the court has said in Shikobi and the state that the law of sedition has its own limitations. Now, if I have a document published, there's a right to fair comment. If I have a document published by a leadership newspaper, and the other people feel that that document was forged, their responsibility is to rebut it. Is to put a rebuttal. It is not for them to now use the police, because they have access to police, to muzzle up the journalists. Now, it is to give the other side of the story, or to go to court to say, well, that is not right. We want the journalists to disclose their source of information. It is only through the court order that can be done. Because we have a right of freedom of expression. Look at all other democracies. Even people that put in classified information into the internet. What has happened? There must be open society. If the government wants to rebut anything that is published, the law courts are there to do so. I agree that they can go to court to ask the court to order them to disclose their source of information. But I think the gap is very narrow. Because once journalists begin to disclose their source of information, then you kill free speech.
Okay, I get the impression that Mr. Abaje is objecting to some of what you're saying. Would you say, sorry, let me clarify this now. Would you say that it is right for any government to use the police to investigate a case that they have not gone to court to say, or issue the rebuttal, as Chino said?
No, the point I am trying to make is that if a crime has been committed, if as a result of your publication, a crime has been committed, you cannot debar or you prevent the police
Who
from
decides
coming
what
into,
is a crime?
A crime is defined by any written law. For instance, you have published a story, like he's saying, you publish a story, the story turned out to be false. I should publish a rejoinder.
No,
that does not even arise.
Let's go a bit theoretical here now. Going a bit theoretical, you published, or I published a story about you, and you feel it is wrong.
Yeah.
Does that make me a criminal?
No, it depends on whether what you have published borders on the realms of criminal law.
Okay.
In other words,
when that happens, should you be going to the police to arrest me?
There are two options. There are two options left for me. Because you can make some publications that are criminal in nature. That is criminal publications. Okay. And the same act, if it touches on my own right, I can go to court and enforce it. That does not debar the police from investigating what you have done. Because it falls within the realms of criminal law, and it's for the police to say, well, let me tell you a story. Some journalists have picked some time ago, when they wrote during the regime of Obasanjo, as the president. They wrote that the then first lady went for some